And Mark Schlereth in for Whitlock and Wiley. TJ Hushmanzada, Sean Merriman are back. Let's return to the playoffs, where two AFC South teams will face off this weekend, with Andrew Luck and the Colts heading to Houston to take on DeShaun Watson and the Texans. It will be DeShaun's first postseason start ever and Luck's first since the Deflategate game 4 years ago. Mark, I ask you first, are you more confident this weekend in Luck or Watson?
I'm going to go with Watson. Obviously playing at home, but, you know, to me it comes down to this. Which guy is going to make more off-schedule plays? And I just look at DeShaun Watson, one, pushing the ball down the field, but his ability inside the pocket to manipulate the pocket, to scramble around, to buy time for himself, either to make plays with his feet or to push the ball down the field successfully when things are off schedule. I just think he's really good at that. And then ultimately, you know, it comes down to complementary football for me. And do I look at the Texans' defense and their ability to pressure Andrew Luck? I mean, that defense is one that, you know, will give you nightmares as a former offensive player, having to block all those guys with J.J. Watt making the comeback that he made this year. So I just have more faith in the off-scheduled nature that I think both offenses will have to orchestrate from, that I have more faith in DeShaun Watson and his ability to move in the pocket and make plays down the field.
Andrew Luck. I'm gonna jump in there right now. Andrew Luck. He clearly would be the front runner for MVP had it not been for a guy in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, his numbers this year, arguably some of the best. Obviously, Drew Brees would be in that conversation as well. But what Andrew Luck has done, no one saw this year. Coming off of that injury, that significant. I don't care who you are, no one saw this coming, but what the Colts have done, they understand who's most important and what is most important. Look at these stats. Their success started by simply protecting Andrew Luck. Since week 7, NFL low in sacks. They are they rank first overall in sacks allowed. So that defense that we're talking about down in Houston, who can get after the quarterback, we understand that. They're going against an offensive line, and you know how important it is to protect your guy who makes everything go. They don't let other opposing defenses touch their quarterback. And when you look at the Houston Texans on the reverse side, on the flip side, they're dead last because of the extended plays and the ability. And this is some of the pros and the cons that you get with a guy like DeShaun Watson that you kind of take on the chin because his ability to extend the plays. He does take more sacks. He holds on to the ball a little bit more because of that. And I just trust Andrew Luck and that supporting cast more.
Yeah, I think DeShaun Watson, I think he comes out on top of this game. And one, we're talking about being able to create plays, these defensive linemen up front and being able to get after you. They're going to get Andrew Luck off the spot. If you look at him, his percentages and watching him moving off of the spot and being able to be mobile and throw the ball on the run, I know DeShaun Watson has been hit more. I know he's taking more sacks. But when this game come down to it, you got to create something big and make it happen, because if you look across the board, they got, you know, both got a wide receiver they can go through. They both got guys on the offense side of the ball who can create at the end of the game when the game gets close and it gets on the line. DeShaun Watson is able to extend plays, throw the ball down the field, and I don't think that Andrew Luck is going to be able to do that towards the end of the game when it gets close, when the Davion Clowney and J.J. Watt is standing in his face. Not always getting a sack on him, but just getting in his face, making a move off of the pocket, throwing off the runs, and creating turnovers.
Well, I got confidence in both of them. Now, who do I think is going to win the game? The New England Patriots fan, they better hope the Houston Texans win. That's the only chance to win in a playoff game, number one. So, it's Andrew, you go to stats with Andrew Luck. The reason he's not being sacked, he understands now, let me get rid of this ball.
Get rid of that football.
So it's not, is the offensive line playing better? Yes, they are. But he's helping them out. He's getting rid of the ball quicker. Whereas DeShaun Watson, you take the good with the bad. He's going to hurt us and take some sacks. But he's going to help us, too, by extending plays and making something out of nothing. If you look at the entire team, Houston they have better playmakers. Defensively, they have, on paper, that defensive line. Will it affect the game because Andrew Luck is getting rid of the ball so fast? I like both quarterbacks, but I will roll with DeShaun Watson in this game.
Yeah, it's funny, and you bring up Andrew Luck and you bring up the offensive line, the protection, and it's one of the reasons that if I had a vote and I don't have a vote for Rookie of the Year, I'd vote for Quentin Nelson. Like Quentin Nelson absolutely destroys dudes.
Yes, he
and not
does.
only does he destroy dudes, then he rubs his undercarriage up their face mask and basically, like, I mean, he's got zero respect, and I love it. I mean, the guy
You gotta be that way.
He's been an unbelievable difference maker for them. But again, it comes up to the off-schedule stuff, and I just think DeShaun Watson is going to find a way to make plays off schedule that Andrew Luck won't.
I mean, if we're talking about off schedule, and I'm not changing my answer, I'm still more confident in Andrew Luck. But by no means am I saying that DeShaun Watson isn't fully capable and doesn't have what it takes. Because when you watch him and you watch him with a receiver like Hopkins on the outside, Nook, what they have, that chemistry, they don't even really need chemistry. All he needs to do is get the ball in that vicinity, and he's going to make a catch.
He had 115 catches and
zero drops.
The dude, his hands, like, he catches the ball so easy.
In
and
traffic,
it's almost like
contested.
And people will say this is DeShaun Watson's first playoff game. But when you play against Alabama in college and come up clutch the way he's been in big games, this game here is going to be a shootout. It'll be a shootout because over the regular season, Andrew Luck averaged 430 yards passing in 2 games. That's almost unheard of.
You hear that?
Yeah,
you got it. Give me your defensive stats because I need some defensive linemen to get in his face.
But this was going to happen. DeShaun Watson's going to have the ball more, right? Because the defense is going to create these turnovers, giving him more opportunity. I'm not saying he'll still take them sacks. He'll still get hit. He'll still probably do some negative things by just holding on the ball too long and trying to do too much. But when you have more opportunities because the defense is going to put the ball back in your hands, that's when that's when it's going to be created. That's where they're going to win the ball game at. And I don't think the defense of the Colts is strong enough to get the ball back in Andrew Luck's hand more. So he's going to have just based on pure opportunity and them getting the ball more, he'll have more opportunity.
They need to do a good job, the Houston Texans defense, of shutting down T.Y. Hilton. He's killed the Texans. Romeo Crennel's the defensive coordinator in Houston, comes under Bill Belichick. You can't let T.Y. Hilton get off. T.Y. Hilton was like, I read a quote where he was like, I'm hurt, but we're playing Houston. I feel good now. So that tells you all you need to know. He's got off against Houston. They need to slow him down.
That's definitely right. The case, both of these teams are in great position with these two quarterbacks. Coming up, ever since Chris Paul got hurt, James Harden has been on a major hot streak. Is he actually better off without CP3? Find out next.